Right, welcome to M-tel again. Today we're working on the old RS Turbo and we are basically fitting poly bushes to the lower arms. Now I've already done one, but I'm going to do this one now. This is passenger side. Now we've got basically inners and outers to fit. So the bushes have already been pressed out. To get the bushes out, I basically used the vise, big socket on the back there, put them in the vise, clamped it together, and basically pushed the bushes out. And in the inner one, I blow torched the centre till it melted, pushed the middle out, and then basically using a chisel, I collapsed the shell and then popped the shell out. You've got to be careful with pushing the shells out of these, the bushes out of these, because there's only two thin sheets of metal. So if you put it in a vise or a clamp and put it like that and push from the top, you actually crush it. So the only way to get it out is to melt the core out and then basically either cut the shell or basically get a chisel and collapse it, basically like I did. So this is what we're going for now. We're going for the inner, so it comes in three parts. Got the main centre, then the two outers. Now, unlike the normal one, which would have had a steel case with a rubber bush right the way around, this just holds on the two outer sides and then the middle is just a spacer. So what you've got to do first of all is grease the old bushes up, put a little bit of grease around them like so, smear it round, so, one on this one, so, smear it round, so, get a little bit of grease on your finger, smear it around on here, again on this side, so, get the bushes. Now what you want to do, grease these up, grease the pin up, grease around like that, get the bush like so, bit of grease on there, wang that in, bit of grease in the middle, grease the hole up in the middle like so, and then again same on this side, grease the hole up, and what you've got to do, put that in there, so push this one in, goes in, push the pin back, get your spacer, put your spacer in the middle, push the pin into the spacer, grease the rest of the pin, smear it right the way round, so put this one on this side and push it all together like so. Ooh, there we go. Right, as simple as. Then basically with this, what will happen when you put this on the car and you bolt it together, it will squish it together and grab that together, hold it all tight. So if it's a little bit loose, don't so much worry. When you clamp it together, it'll tighten it up. So that's them ones. Now we have the two outers. So first of all, they look like this. They push in from either side of the arm. First one goes in. Need a bit more cotton on this. Yep. A little bit there. A little bit on there. Cut on the pin. Right. Smooth this round. So. Smooth this one round. So. Right. Wang this first one in. That's that one. This one in. Right. Bit of copper in the hole. So a bit of copper in this one. All the way around. Right. Pin. Put the pin in. Same this side. Smear it around. So now we get, I've got welding clamps here. Get your welding clamp or a G clamp or a vice, whatever you want to use. I'm going to use your welding clamp and just use your clamp. In they go. Boom. There's one. Oh. The hands are too slippery. Come on. There we go. There you go. My hands are wilderness and minging. Right, so simple as. Right, what you want to do now, push the bushes back just a slight bit, both sides. The reason being, it makes it easier to put the lower arm back on the car, because basically if you leave them pressed right in, when you try to put it on the lower arm, it won't, onto the actual hub, it won't fit. So if you push the bushes out slightly, it'll slide on, then when you put the pin in and you nut and bolt it together, it will pull it tight together, close all the gaps up, pull it nice and tight. As simple as that. Right, so that's that sorted, lower arm done. Now we just need to put it back on the car. Right, we're under the turbo now. I'm going to be putting this lower arm in. Now, when you fit these poly bushes, where they're a lot wider, normally when you go to fit the lower arm, it won't actually go into the bracket because it's too wide, because obviously it's splayed out and it needs to be crushed by when you bolt it up. So the easiest option is get yourself a lever bar in amongst the two, in between the bracket, and just lever it open by a couple of mil, which will give you clearance basically to bolt it up. Give us more of that grease out of there so I can cover the faces of this and this. No, the other one. The one that's in the pack, the clear grease. That's it. I'll squeeze a bit on it. That bit there. Bob another little bit that way. Right, so that's that. Okay. Right, so first things first, we got the spring. This is a lowering spring, hence the reason it's got tight windings. You want to put the tight windings against the body shell. And the reason being is because if you put them up the other way, the springs will actually come together and catch, and then they're MOT failures basically. You need to put it up the right way, put your spring in. It's not holding very well. Right, so normally they hold pretty well, but not on that one. So let's get the lower arm in first. So put the lower arm in. Basically push that up in there. That's it. Pin. That's it. Right, there we go. Washer on. Like so. Then just wind the nut on a couple of turns, like so. And we check it onto axle. Make sure we've got clearance, so we'll go in. Which it does. So that's good. So that's on there. Right, next. You get the pin out of the boot, Chase. Right. I got it. perfection. Right, you need that there. Right, let's put the spring in. Right, so that's that. That on there. Right, do you want to locate? That's it, we're through.
Perfect.
Simple as. Right, so there you go. Tight windings to the top, because if you put them at the bottom, they close up and touch halfway round. And when the springs touch together, they are actually an MOT failure. You've got to have gap in between your springs. Even if it's only a couple of mil, you need a gap. So that lower arm now is in. So we've got that pin through there, pin through the body shell. So that's mounted, which then fixes that in place. Then basically all that's left is to tighten everything up and put that on. I haven't attached the anti-roll bar yet because we need some new links. So that will be the next job. But we do need to fit that back up into place at another later date. Right, there we go. Anyway, so that's the lower arm now fitted. Obviously, if you haven't got someone to give you a hand, you can always put your jack underneath it, jack it up into place when you put the pin through, which makes life a lot easier. So there you go. So that's how to fit a set of poly bushes on the lower arm of an Escort RS Turbo. And you can also, it's pretty much the same for most vehicles, so it's generic pretty much. So installing poly bushes are quite simple. They're an easy job for an amateur mechanic, and something that you can do if you want to have a little tinker around with your car. So thank you very much for watching anyway, and hope you liked the video, and please like and subscribe to my videos. Thank you very much.